Welcome into Inside Press Box or Press Box Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of Press Box and PressBoxOnline.com. The guy smiling is Dr. Sandy Siegel of Chesapeake Urology. We're going to talk to him on this very special edition of Press Box Live after I tell you about the Costas Inn. Costas Inn, longtime friends, longtime sponsors, located out 4100 North Point Boulevard. Everybody in town knows that they're the preeminent place to go for steamed crabs, crab cakes, crab soup, all things with Maryland crabs and crabs from Louisiana and Texas, but they're fantastic. But during the pandemic, they upped their game in the curbside world. We used to call it takeout, but now it's called curbside. You can order online at CostasInn.com. You can pay online, pick it up. You don't even have to get out of your car, and everything's packed immaculately. You don't have to worry about grandma's soup getting spilled over your egg salad sandwich. Okay. Anyway, it's the Costas Inn. Again, CostasInn.com. Joining me now is the CEO of Chesapeake Urology. Now, are you still the CEO of Chesapeake Urology, Sandy Siegel?
Yeah, well, I stepped down in 2018 and was in Florida for a couple of years, and they brought me back, just like in The Godfather. They pulled me back in, Stan.
Pulled you back in. Now,
Yeah.
First of all, when you left, was that directly related to your very personal struggle, and you've been out front about this, with prostate cancer? Is that why you
certainly
stepped
had
away?
something to do with it. Yeah, Stan, it certainly had something to do with it. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer at the end of 2017 and went through treatment through 2018 and 2019. I stepped down in August of 2018, and I was on medication. I was getting my treatments done. I had pretty high grade cancer. It just made me more vocal and about prostate cancer and more defiant of the challenges we face as it comes to raising money for prostate cancer and fighting this deadly disease for men.
Now, we're going to talk about the event in just a couple of minutes, but I think it's very important that people hear this, because when you email, you sent out an email to all your friends and family, so to speak, and said that. I emailed you right away, and I said, well, I'm sure luckily you got to this early. You're a doctor that's been preaching getting checkups every year. I think it's important for people to hear that you got this disease, and yet it was already pretty far along. What did you do? What did you not do that you've been preaching to people for years that they have to do?
Well, really, I didn't do anything. In 4 years prior to 2017, I had a biopsy that did not show any cancer. My PSA that I got every year remained pretty stable in the 7 to 9 range. And I thought, well, I had an enlarged prostate, and PSA can rise as a result of an enlarged prostate. It doesn't rise just because you have cancer. You can have an elevated PSA because you have a large prostate. So I checked it every year, and then 1 year bumped up a little bit higher, and I got an MRI, and the MRI showed a definite lesion in the prostate. I got the biopsy like I should have, and in proper time, and it showed the advanced prostate cancer.
Is the average guy out there, Sandy, going to be that, on top of it, or will their doctor be on top of it? Say, I think you should get an MRI.
Well, what we saw during COVID, Stan, is a lot of people, it was two and a half years of COVID, right?
Yep.
And people did not go to the doctor. And what we're finding now is people are presenting with a little higher PSA than we saw previously. And if they have cancer, a little higher grade of cancer. So there's no question that staying away from your doctor for 2 years made a difference. And so hopefully we get back to people doing their regular checkups every year and getting their PSA, amongst all the other things that you should see your doctors for.
All right. Now, I know Gary and I had you on last year,
Yes.
but the year before the event was postponed, correct? Or
no, we've done virtual events 2 years in a row. The year before that was my prostate cancer year, Stan, and we raised about $900,000. Obviously, the last couple of years on the virtual, it's been much more of a challenge. We're doing better this year, but runs across the country that I'm hearing about are doing about half of what they used to do prior to COVID. People are still scared out there of getting together, Stan.
Yeah. I understand it. And
I
right
do too.
now I got all these wedding invitations and I feel terrible. They're family members, daughters of family members, and I'm passing on them right now because Jane and I are both kind of highly susceptible. We've got some extenuating circumstances with our diabetes. It's still a nerve-wracking time to get together.
Yeah, it is. But that's why we're outside this year. We're in the open air. As you know, we're at the beautiful Johnny Unitas
Young
Stadium
United
at Towson
Stadium, yeah.
University. It's wide open. We're not in a confined space. So I think, look, as much protection as we can give out there, that's what we're doing. Maybe we should have given shots out there, some booster shots that were out there. I didn't think of that, but that would have been a good idea. But
I have
look,
I have a feeling we'll be giving booster shots a year from now too.
yeah, I
But
think
it might
some
be
people
an
feel for the
interesting
rest
thing.
of our lives.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
people feel that you'll be getting COVID-19 shots for the rest of your lives once a year, just like you get a flu shot.
All right. Well, I'd love to talk to you about this sometime, but I do want to talk about the event. It's coming up a week from Sunday. It is up against, when I say up against, it's the same date as a Raven Tone game. The kickoff is 1 o'clock for the Ravens Dolphins game. What time do you start, and what time can somebody reasonably get out of there and still make it downtown for kickoff?
Well, our event starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're out by 9:30, quarter to 10. So there
Okay.
should be no interference with the Ravens game. Look, I'm going to the Ravens game too, and I'm the MC with WJZ TV. I'm up there with them. We're very proud to have you as a sponsor. Again, Stan, you've been a great representative for us, great spokesman for us at Chesapeake Urology and this prostate cancer event. I'm really proud to always partner with you.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy. You've been a friend. You started with Pressbox in our infancy back in the days. And what year did Chesapeake Urology? We've been around 16 and a half years now. How many years prior to that did you start? Was it about 3 years?
This is our 16th year of the events, Stan.
Right.
So we became Chesapeake Urology. Bruce Berger named us in 1999. And so we've been around. I've been around since 1985. So look, I'm really proud. We've raised over $7 million for this event. We've screened well over 10,000 men, mostly African Americans, in Baltimore City with the faith-based community. So we are really committed to the community. We are living our mission and vision, which is to make sure that not only do we take care of the patients we see every day, but also help the community to get healthier, to get better, make sure we spread the message and educate men on prostate cancer and prostate disease.
You and I often talk about the prevalence of this disease in the African American community, but I've never really asked you the question: is there an understandable reason it hits those folks more than Caucasians?
It's all genetic. It is all genetic. Yeah, it's very prominent in families. You can find families that have 3, 4, 5 members of the family with prostate cancer. And, prostate cancer can be cured in Black men, although Black men are more likely to die 2 to 1 to white people. Why? Because they generally are diagnosed later and therefore have a higher grade, higher stage tumor. But if Black men are diagnosed early, they're cured just as equally as whites. So that's why we've been so passionate about spreading the word in the African American community.
You've done a phenomenal job at that, Sandy, and it's something you should be complimented for greatly. Tell us again the details of how someone can get involved, either making a donation or participating either live or virtually, Sandy.
Well, they can come out. It's Sunday, September 18th at the Towson University, Johnny Unitas Stadium. There'll be plenty of parking. We have multiple things to do there for the kids. We have the kids dash. It's really a great, fun family event. It is. The weather looks like it's going to be really nice. You can get to the Ravens game.
Fingers crossed. Yep.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We will be out there anyway. But we think that this is some way we can get together. We can all get out, be family again. People need to get out. It's been tough out there for the last 2 years for everybody. Depression is high, anxiety is high. Let's get out and have some fun. And Stan, if they go to www.zero, ZERO Baltimore, spell it out, zerobaltimore.org, not .com, but .org, zerobaltimore.org. They can donate. They can register. Registration is free, Stan. You don't have to pay anything to come out. We'd love for you to donate, whether it's $1, $5, or $500. We'd love to, continue to raise funds, because every dollar you raise goes to prostate cancer research or these free screenings. So please help us out. www.zerobaltimore.org. Come out and help us out. Help us make a difference
Sandy, you've
for
been
these men and their families. Cancer all around, Stan, is a family disease. It is not an individual disease. It's a family disease. And that's what we're trying to fight. Give people more life.
You've always been complimenting us. Tell us about your relationship with WJZ, because it's a long-standing relationship and it's really helped make the event what it is.
Yeah, our relationship with WJZ goes back to 2007 when I reached out to Jay Newman, who was their general manager at the time, and Howard Mazer, who directed me to Jay from Radio One. And they've just been great sponsor us. They put on they give us free advertising to advertise the run for weeks before. So our relationship has been great with them. We love them there. They're great sponsors, just as you have, and your buddy Bruce Posner. Everybody in Baltimore just chips in to make a difference. And it's made a difference for many men's lives, saving lives, diagnosing men who normally don't have access to the doctor or go to the doctor. We're there to be a part of their lives and hopefully diagnose those men early.
Hey, one thing before we let you go, if somebody's watching this video and they say, I have never had a urologist, maybe they're 28, 30 years old. If they call Chesapeake Urology, how do they get assigned a particular doctor? I've seen Dr. Leone now, who you recommended, I see about 6, 7 years ago, and I've been seeing him ever since. I go once a year. Tell folks out there how to get a doctor and how important it is to see somebody on a yearly basis.
Well, it is very important. Once you reach, especially if you have a family history of prostate cancer, Stan, you need to start looking at yourself at 40. If you're an African-American, you need to go at 40 anyway. If you have that family history, it is incredibly important, white or black, to get started on screening early. We're seeing more and more young people with cancer, whether it's colorectal cancer, rectal cancer alone, lung cancer. We're seeing younger and younger men and women with cancer. And so it's important that we watch what we're doing out there. Be really understanding of what your body is doing, so you can, make sure you're taking care of when things don't go so well. And so I think that if somebody called Chesapeake Urology, depending on where they're from, because we have offices from Chevy Chase and Bethesda and Germantown all the way to Bel Air and Franklin Square and down south to Hanover near the airport. We're all Southern Maryland in the Brandywine, Clinton area. So if somebody calls from Clinton, they're going to be directed to the doctors in Brandywine. And if they're seen in Bel Air, they're going to see the docs in Bel Air. So we're very conveniently located for people, and it's easy to get an appointment for it. And you know what, Stan? If they can't get that, all they have to do is reach out to me.
All right, that sounds
and I will take care of them, as I do many times a week. I get called, Sandy, can you get me in to see so-and-so? I've got this, can you do it? So I'm always there for anybody. You know that, Stan.
Give the URL for the website again. Baltimore Zero.
It's www.zero Baltimore, spell it out, .org. O-R-G. So it's www.zerobaltimore.org. We'd love for you to come out. There's no registration fee. If you can donate $5, $10, $15, everything makes a difference to beat this disease. Remember, Stan, 29,000 men will die every year of prostate cancer. It's the second leading cause of death after lung cancer. So we have a long way to battle this. There's a lot of fighting to do.
One last question. Is the money really helping? Are we making advances in battling this and getting to the potential to be zero prostate?
We have really extended the lives of men diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer. When I was a young man in training, men used to die. 50% of men would be dead within 2 years. That was the statistic. Now that 50% is well into 6 to 8 years. So the drugs that have been created for advanced prostate cancer have been just phenomenal. And I will tell you, there's one drug we use that in whites, Provenge, which is a drug, immunotherapy drug. When given to whites, it extends life by 4.5 months. That same drug in black men, 18.5 months, it can extend life. So there's all kinds of things that are being developed. More drugs are being developed for advanced prostate cancer than any cancer that we know of right now. So your money is going for good causes.
One last question, and you and I've never really talked this deeply about this. How about for somebody that does find out they have it? What about the quality of life post-cancer treatment? Is there, in other words, should they be optimistic about the quality of life they can have?
Absolutely. Even when you're diagnosed, you come in and the disease has already spread. There's so many drugs that we can give you that actually wipe out the cancer for a while. It doesn't get rid of it, but it really takes it down and lowers it from real high to real low. And, I have, Phil Shulka, who was diagnosed 17 years ago with advanced prostate cancer, is 17 years out with and he had terrible prostate cancer 17 years ago. He's walking 5 miles a day. His PSA is steady, but he's still on treatment, and he has a great life. Seen like the birth of 6 grandchildren. He's got a wonderful wife, and
wouldn't
those
have been possible.
Yeah, it would have been impossible. 10 years ago, would have been dead.
All right. Sandy Siegel, always a pleasure. Glad we're continuing our partnership, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon. Good luck September 18th. www.zero Baltimore.org. I don't know why that stumbled me. All right, ZeroBaltimore.org. Thanks, Sandy Siegel of Chesapeake.
Stan Charles, you're a prince. I love you, my brother. We'll talk soon. Say hi to Jane.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.